So this thing is like a very specific type of mid. It's a project that seems to have almost everything going for it. Ultimately, it collapses under its own weight. It comes across as tonally confused, dramatically underwritten, and way less profound than I think it's trying to be. What's going on? I'm Morgan. I'm a director, cinematographer, here today to discuss the 2026 summer blockbuster by Steven Spielberg, Disclosure Day. If you like these reviews, I love doing them, please subscribe. So I went into this thing wanting a life-changing, genre-defining Steven Spielberg event, and instead I got something where the craft is carrying subject matter that doesn't deserve it. So this is a late career Steven Spielberg returning to the alien genre, and that's a huge deal because his past films have defined the visual and emotional language of so many different genres. And this isn't just Steven Spielberg, he's returned with a cast of creatives who he's collaborated with for decades. It's David Koepp, the screenwriter, who's written so many big blockbuster films over the last 30 years, Janusz Kaminski, a longtime collaborator of Steven Spielberg, and John Williams, the legendary composer who's done things like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, etc. We've got a large studio budget, a huge Panavision camera package with 35mm, having all the ingredients for Spielberg to make a humongous splash and a late career statement in this genre. And honestly, the biggest thing that doesn't work here is the storytelling and the writing. The writing here is overworked, dramatically complicated, and undercooked all at the same time. This is an original story by Koepp and Spielberg, and they reportedly did around 42 versions of this script, and honestly, it feels like it. And I'm a little bit like, dude, that honestly might be your problem. The film's getting pulled into so many different directions at once. Does this want to be a paranoid government takeover thriller? Does this want to be a nun crisis of faith religious story? Does this want to be a Spielberg alien wonder? It can't decide, and neither can I. Then we have this alien artifact thing that's functioning as this narrative putty that can do anything the story conveniently needs it to do. And by the end, they were busting it out, and I'm like, dude, what now with this thing? The film keeps wading into these waters of these grand psychological and philosophical ideas. If aliens exist, then what does that imply about our relationship to God? It uses religion as this sort of prestige garnish, and then never really engages with the answer. It's not even just religion, it engages with all these different types of ideas. Disclosure, institutional secrecy, humans confronting the unknown, and empathy as conflict resolution. It keeps proposing these giant ideas, and then hand-waving the answers. All these different directions kind of sanded down the specificity that could have made this thing great. The main thesis of Disclosure Day is if humans are able to see each other's humanity, then conflict will dissolve. It keeps prodding this thesis, like in the scene where Emily Blunt disarms an entire army through empathy, or in the end where the antagonist basically folds. The entire overarching theme that this disclosure will somehow bring all of humanity together. The problem is, I don't think the film earns that worldview, and I don't think modern day events support it either. It's not that I reject empathy, it's that I don't think empathy is this universal solvent for all conflict. And I don't think a lot of people subscribe to that anymore. And the other thing is, I genuinely can't decide which bucket this film is trying to fall into. It's too violent and too grim to be a true Spielberg family movie. It's not simple enough to be a big summer blockbuster, and it's almost too polished and too legacy driven to be a weird cult indie alien sci-fi flick. And honestly, I think the answer is this is made for people who want to love a new Spielberg movie before it even starts. So we're diving in on the report card here. The first criteria we got is the editing. This is landing at a B+ for me. This thing isn't really editorially falling apart for me. The story is landing at a D. It was gonna be an F, but I decided to be lenient. The characters here are also landing at a D for me. This involves performance as well. Really the only person who had a pulse through this thing was Emily Blunt. The antagonist and all the supporting roles felt very one-dimensional. The music, this one is actually pretty tragic for me, but it's landing at a C-. The music actively took me out of a scene or a story numerous times. It was very old Hollywood, very symphonic, and I just don't know if that old Hollywood vibe is really working for this piece. So the cinematography might be one of the only redeeming qualities of this thing. It's landing at an A for me. Janusz Kaminski, a longtime collaborator with Steven Spielberg, really brought a very interesting atmosphere and an elevated aesthetic to this thing. It's filmed on 35mm. The long take oneer at the farmhouse technically blew my mind, and that was a really standout moment, I thought. I'm wrapping production design into this category as well. There are a number of really cool sets, like the wrestling match and the farmhouse, and the musical instruments train car. But ultimately, no matter how much optical delight your film may have, it's no replacement for a flawed story. This thing is landing at a C-, D+ for me. Honestly, Disclosure Day is the result of when a filmmaker and a team with all the resources you could possibly imagine create a project that can't decide what it wants to be. How hot is my take here? Let me know below. Please subscribe if you want to check out more of these, and we'll see you in the next one.